Hello, my name is Jeff Lovejoy, and I'm a action coach. I work for Action Coach at franchise. I've been doing it for 12 years, and what that means is I work with local business owners to help them grow their businesses by overcoming the challenges and taking advantage of the opportunities that are immediately ahead of the owners. And one of the areas I focus with owners on is repeat business. So today I'm excited to be taking some time to share with you some ideas on ways that you can increase your repeat business. You know, getting new clients in the door is great. It needs to happen for the business to grow. But oftentimes that causes us to lose sight of the importance of our repeat clients. And these days, I would suggest that repeat clients are imperative to the success of your business. And that's what I want to focus on today. What can you do to increase the amount of business that you get from your repeat clients? So let's start by first recognizing that repeat clients are your most important clients. They're the most profitable clients you have. Getting new clients is great. It needs to happen, but you're spending marketing dollars to bring in those clients. Whereas repeat clients, you're not spending much in marketing to get them to buy again and again and again. So your profit per transaction is higher with repeat clients than it is with new clients. So we need to at least share focus between new and repeat clients. Today, I would suggest that most of the focus on marketing is to get new. So I want to throw some ideas at you and some strategies that will get you start thinking about what I can do to increase my business from repeat clients. Because as I said, repeat clients is where the profitability is. Now, while you might want to be increasing the amount of business from repeat clients, your customers are sitting out there these days, nervous, anxious, going through a lot of uncertainty. What's going to happen with the economy? What's going to happen with my job? Oh my God, what's going to happen if I lose my job? They're working virtually. Many of them have never done that before, so they may be feeling isolated. They may feel some fear. There's a lot of emotional stuff going on these days. And so you've got to really up the game in terms of what you do from a customer service perspective. What are you going to do? What are you doing to make them put a smile on their face? You need to go above and beyond. Customer service is always important, but today it's critical. It's imperative that you be aware and pay attention to what your clients are thinking and feeling and what you can do to alleviate that concern. So let's look a little bit into the importance of repeat clients. As I said, there are repeat clients are your most profitable. Now, what I would suggest you do is to take your repeat clients and divide them into tiers. Perhaps the top tier would be your top 20%, because inevitably they generate 80% of your profit. And this is the tier you cannot afford to lose. You can't lose one of those. Excuse me. So you need to be putting a lot of focus on that top tier. The middle tier, I call the sustain level. These are clients of yours that have been with you. They are, they maintain at the same level of purchasing. They're not going up, they're not going down, they're steady. You can count on them. And then there's the third level where these are repeat clients, but their business is a bit at risk. So I would encourage you to look at your repeat clients and categorize them into one of these three tiers. Now, if you're like most business owners, you've probably never really looked at your repeat clients. So you don't know how to break them into these three tiers. You don't know what the average transaction is from a repeat client versus a new client. That'd be valuable information to know, wouldn't it? You don't know how long you keep your clients for. Also valuable information. So while you're going through this effort, I would encourage you to broaden your perspective and to really get your handle around your metrics around repeat clients. So we're going to have three groups: top tier, sustain level, and the ones that are at risk. Now, and it's always important to communicate. Regardless of the time, the economic cycle we're in, communication with clients employees and vendors is critical. It's imperative today, and it's imperative with your repeat clients. You've got to let them know, because like all what we've been talking about, they're nervous, they're concerned, they're fearful, they may be feeling a little bit isolated if they're working virtually. So these are obstacles that are getting in the way, could get in the way of your clients wanting to come back and make another purchase from you. So that again says that you've got to raise the bar. You've got to up your game. And what I would suggest you do with regards to those 3 tiers, client tiers we talked about, is to develop a marketing strategy to figure out, okay, for my top 20%, what am I going to do? Well, I would suggest you pick up the phone immediately and you start calling them. Well, what are we going to talk about? We'll talk about things that are of concern to them relative to your business. So if they come, if it's retail, they got to be concerned about, cleanliness. What are you doing to protect them? If it's auto, any place that they have to visit, what are you doing to protect them? If it's not somewhere, if it's restaurants, what are you doing from a delivery perspective? What are you doing from a curbside pickup? What are you doing for allowing some people to come in? What's the seating arrangement? All of this sort of stuff you need to communicate with your top tier clients, because they're questions that they have, and if they're not answered, they're apt not to come back in and buy until things have settled down. So that's what I do with my tiers. I'd figure out what is the message I'm going to send them, how often am I going to send it to them, and how am I going to send it to them. And the focus needs to be on what you're doing to make things easier for them. And that communication, we've said that you have to always be communicating, but these days it's critical that you communicate more and more often with your clients. And you might even include past clients in on this. Maybe there's 4 tiers: top tier, sustain level, the risky ones, and then the 4th would be past clients. Because the past clients have bought from you as well. They know you. They may have stopped buying you for reasons other than anything you've done. Maybe they'd be willing to come back if you were only to reach out to them. So I would make a point of reaching out to past clients as well as my repeat clients. And if you haven't built a customer/prospect database in which you keep all of your contact information about your clients, your prospects, maybe the stage of growth where they're in terms of their value to you, or in terms of your pipeline, if it's a prospect, I would encourage you, this needs to be a top priority, because communication is key. And if you don't have a way of organizing your communications by tier and by message and by method of delivery, it's going to be hard for you. Customer service. This now is where we begin to get into what you can do to create loyalty, which then leads to repeat business. I'm going to be a broken record, but again, what can you do to go out of your way to make your clients feel special? I'll give you an example. The other day I was talking to a woman here in Atlanta whose family buys a lot through Fed Express. And so they usually have the same driver coming by and delivering the Fed Express. And this one driver came by and left a package. And on his business card, he wrote, "Thanks for your business. And here's some dog treats for your dogs." Well, the driver obviously knew that there were dogs in the house and went the extra step to go get some dog food and left a couple treats on the package. Now, that's a small thing to do. It's completely out of the norm. And because of that, this woman won't stop talking about this. So here's a guy, the delivery guy, made a huge impact on a client that she'll probably will continue to buy from use Fed Express for her outgoing stuff just because of his actions. So ask yourself, what can you do to put a smile on the face of your repeat clients? Doesn't have to be dramatic. Doesn't have to be, it just has to make them feel appreciated, make them feel like you care about them, make them feel good. So maybe it's birthday cards, maybe it's a note on an anniversary, maybe it's a handwritten thank you note. Hey, thanks for coming into our restaurant last night. And maybe you include in that note from the restaurant a little voucher that says, next time you're in, give the waiter this voucher and you get a free dessert. Anything like that. It's not a lot, but it's the thought that counts. And so, and you encourage people to come back in and in and in. And the more they come in, the more they're going to feel a sense of loyalty to you and your business. So show your clients that you care. It's so critical these days. And I like that last bullet. Make people smile. The more you can make them feel smile, they're going to feel so much better. The more you empathize with people, the more you're warm in dealing with people, the more you're going to get a receptive audience on the other side. So we've talked about customer service. A big piece of customer service is building loyalty. And so I want to show you what we call our ladder of loyalty, the Action Coach ladder of loyalty. And this is a ladder that we use to visually describe and show business owners what they can be doing to increase the loyalty of their customers. And by increasing the loyalty, to be increasing the amount of business that those customers give the business in repeat business. So, and it starts with the goal of creating raving fans. If every one of your clients was a raving fan, you wouldn't need to be spending any marketing dollars. Your raving fans would be bringing customers to you left and right. That's kind of utopia. I'm not aware of any businesses that's there. There are some that have lots of raving fans, but they're still having to go out and find new clients the traditional way. But anyway, that's the goal, to create raving fans. And we start with suspects. Excuse me. Suspects are just names in a database, a marketing database. They're the population. They're people that could be, that your product might appeal to. You don't know, they're just names. They haven't expressed any interest in the business, and for that matter, they may not even know about your business. These are people that get your emails, get your flyers, get your brochures, and never respond. They're out there, but they haven't expressed any interest. As soon as they start expressing interest in your business, they become a prospect. So maybe they got an email with an offer that said, here's a free brochure on ways to paint your deck. Call us for more information. And maybe they pick up the phone and call you. And regardless of how they contact you, they made the effort to reach out and contact you. So they then move from a suspect up to a prospect. There's not much loyalty there, but it's the first sign that maybe there's potential there to develop some loyalty. They haven't even bought yet, but they're starting to get into there's the second rung of the ladder. Now, to get to the third rung of the ladder, they've got to make a purchase. Some people think that means they're a customer. And I say, no, they're not a customer. They're still checking you out. They've made one purchase. They want to see how effective your frontline people are. They want to see if the product is as good as you say it is. They're checking you out. So there's a bit more loyalty because they've gone from expressing interest to actually making a transaction. But there's not a whole lot of loyalty there. And the loyalty doesn't really start getting there until they get to the customer level. Customers, when they've made the second, third, fifth, 10th, 20th, 30th, 100th purchase, now they're starting to develop some real sense of loyalty. They're a customer. And what you need to do is you need to continue to foster them moving up this ladder. And one way you might do that, again, we've used the restaurant analogy, but to continue with it, maybe you give people who have come into the restaurant a couple times a card that has a person's name on it and their phone number, and they are tell the buyers or the restaurant visitors, diners, that anytime they want to make a reservation, just to text the number on the card. Whatever it is, making them start to feel like they're special. And that really carries into the next level, which is the member level. Here, the member level feels like they're a member. They're beginning to feel like they're part of the organization. Maybe, you know, this is where you go in a bar and there are mugs hanging down with people's names on it. This is where you go to, there's a very famous dentist that serves tea and muffins and things on fancy china to his members and above. So there are things that you can do that will incent people to keep coming back, because they're starting to feel like they're part of an organization. They're part of your business. They're critical to your business. And as they build that loyalty, they will start purchasing more because they're coming in more. They're starting to tell people about your business. There's much more stickiness to the business now because of the way you've been developing them, all with a goal of getting them up to raving fans. And members get a membership kit. You know, maybe there's a little packet that has, maybe it's a keychain, maybe it's a t-shirt, maybe it's definitely got referral cards, and maybe there's a little VIP pass that if they show this on the next purchase or every 5th purchase, they get something, or whatever it is that you think about to give to people at the membership level that makes them feel like they're more important to you than they were when they were just making the initial purchase or the 2nd or 3rd purchase. So give some thought to that. Every business is going to be different, but you know, maybe this is a picture on the wall. I don't know. Maybe this is a special, become a part of a special group that meets once a month and does whatever. I don't know, but create that feel of membership, loyalty. Then we get up to advocates. Now, the advocates are the people that are members, but souped up even more. These are people that will actively be out promoting you. These are people that will pass referrals to you. These are people that will film videos or will video themselves with offering testimonials. These are people that will go in and do online reviews. These are people that will actively encourage people they know, acquaintances, family members, business associates, to use you. And lastly is the raving fan. The raving fan is an advocate on steroids. These are people that are actually out trying to sell for you. And a great example is Brad Sugars, who was the founder of Action Coach, used to have a dog food company. And his deal was that he would give anybody who referred a client that bought, the referee would get a week's free dog food. Well, he had one person that never paid for dog food for a full year because of all the referrals that she had offered into Brad's dog food business. So that's now whether she was doing that because she was getting the free food or whether it was because she was raving about the business doesn't really matter. She was generating enough referrals for a whole year's supply of free food. And Brad didn't care about that because he was getting more and more new clients coming in the door. So think along those lines. Think about what you can do to take your customers up this ladder. Now, your customers will be each customer is going to be at a different, and I say customer, not the customer on the ladder of loyalty, but your paying customers are going to be in different rungs on this ladder. So a very interesting exercise is to begin to establish what are the criteria for each one of these levels, especially member, advocate, and raving fan, and then categorize your existing client base. How many raving fans do you have? How many advocates? How many members do you have? What are you doing to get a customer to a member, and a member to an advocate, and an advocate to a raving fan? If you're not doing anything, what do you think you need to do? What can you do to increase the numbers in each one of those rungs of the ladder? Because the goal, obviously, is to get that ladder top heavy. As it gets top heavy, you're going up in loyalty, which means you're going up in repeat business. Now, where do you suppose most businesses focus their marketing? Yeah, if you said the first 3 tiers of that ladder, you're right. Most marketing focus, most marketing dollars is down in this area: shopper, prospect, suspect. It's here. And while this is important, as we talked about earlier, this is the new clients coming in. They tend to neglect this. And this is the gold mine. The more you can get existing clients buying from you, the more profitable you become, because as we've said, repeat business is the most profitable business you have. You also, if you can get them up to advocates or fans, you're starting to get more and more referrals. So they're paying for new business to come in, meaning they're generating new business coming in. I would suggest that an advocate is 5, 10, 20 times more valuable to you than a customer. And I would suggest a raving fan is a multiple of 20 times more important to you than a customer. So why aren't more business owners spending time to generate advocates and raving fans? Well, to me, it's because they don't understand this. They don't know. They haven't sat down and really thought about their customer loyalty and strategies that they can use in order to take customers up that ladder of loyalty. So that's something I would actively encourage you to do. So I would suggest then that at least maybe half of your marketing dollars, maybe 40%, be spent up in this upper tier, with the remainder being spent down bringing in new stuff. Right now, it's far less than that going up here, and far more than that being spent down here. All right, so to wrap up, we're about at our 30 minutes. Here's some things to think about doing as a result of this. I hope you go home and I hope you think about looking at your repeat business, your customer database, and thinking about creating those tiers. Who are my top 20% clients? And oh, by the way, how much are they generating? What percent of revenue are they generating in total? What are my stable clients? What are the 50, 60, 65% of my client base is probably at that level? They're stable. I can count on them. And then what are the ones that are at risk? And then I would think about, as we talked about, developing strategies for each one of those levels, and maybe including past clients in it. And then along those same lines, as you're looking at your repeat business, start thinking about where your individual people fall on the ladder of loyalty. And look at how many raving fans do you have? How many advocates do you have? How many members and how many customers do you have? And what can you do to move more and more up to the advocate and raving fan level? Don't neglect them. Don't assume because they bought 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times that they're always going to be buying from you. They're not. You got to start expressing some appreciation and some thanks to them. And that's what this ladder of loyalty is all about. And as always, if you want to talk about any of, if you question anything that we've talked about today, I'd be glad to have a conversation with you. My phone number is at the bottom of the slide. It's 404-444-1836. Send me a text message and we can set up some time to talk. Along that same line, I'd be glad to sit down with any business owner and spend 90 minutes just talking to them about opportunities that are ahead of them, what challenges they have, what's holding the business back. That's an ongoing offer that I always extend to business owners here in the Metro Atlanta area. I don't see any questions in the chat, so I'm going to assume that there aren't any questions. But again, if you have some, reach out to me, call me, 404-444-1836, and I'd be glad to answer whatever questions you have on this or any other business growth topic. Thanks so much for attending. My name is Jeff Lovejoy. My email is jefflovejoy@actioncoach.com. And folks, stay positive. We're going to come out of this. And you as business owners, you as leaders, it's critical that you and your team sees you as being positive and be proactive and communicate. All the best and stay healthy. Bye for now.